And welcome, we are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Over 90 people killed after a ferry sinks off the north coast of Mozambique. Israel reduces troops in South Gaza, leaving just one brigade. Egypt State TV says progress made in discussions in Cairo through talks. IAEA condemns drone attack on Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, says attack significantly increases accident risk. US Treasury Secretary Yellen meets central bank governor, urges action on excess industrial capacity. News in detail now. More than 90 people died after a ferry sank off the north coast of Mozambique. Officials in Nampula province said 5 people had been rescued of the around 130 believed to have been on board, while over 24 are reported missing. Most passengers were trying to escape the mainland because of a panic caused by disinformation about cholera. The boat was apparently travelling from Lunga to Mozambique Island off the coast of Nampula. Nampula province has been one of the worst affected by the cholera outbreak, which has spread over several countries in southern Africa since January last year. Update on Israel-Hamas conflict. Israel on Sunday said it had withdrawn more soldiers from southern Gaza, leaving just one brigade in the area. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said the troops were leaving to prepare for their follow-up missions. Gallant said the achievements in Khan Yunis were extremely impressive, adding that Hamas had ceased to function as a military organization throughout Gaza.
The forces are exiting and preparing for their next missions. We saw examples of such missions in the Shifa operation and also of their coming mission in the Rafah area.
The US says the Israel military's troop reduction in the southern Gaza Strip appears to be a rest and refit and not necessarily indicative of any new operations for these troops. In an interview to a news channel, White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby reiterated the United States' position against any ground military operation in Rafah. Kirby's remarks came as Israel's military announced it had withdrawn its forces from Khan Yunis and bringing its troop presence in the territory to one of the lowest levels since the 6-month conflict began. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel was one step away from victory. Marking the 6 months of the conflict, Netanyahu said Israel would not agree to a ceasefire until the hostages being held in Gaza are released. Netanyahu said that despite growing international pressure, Israel would not give in to extreme demands from terror group Hamas, which sparked the conflict on October 7 with its deadly attack on southern Israel.
I made it clear to the international community there will be no ceasefire without the return of hostages. It just won't happen. This is the policy of the Israeli government, and I welcome the fact that the Biden administration made it clear 2 days ago that this is still its position as well. I would like to clarify one more thing. Israel is not the one preventing a deal. Hamas prevents a deal. Israel is ready for a deal. Israel is not ready to surrender.
Now, the progress has been made in discussions in Cairo on a truce in the Israel-Hamas conflict, and there is agreement on the basic points between all parties involved. According to Egypt's state-affiliated Al Qahira News, Hamas and Qatar's delegations left Cairo and will return within 2 days to agree on the terms of the final agreement, while the Israeli and the US delegations left the Egyptian capital later on Sunday. It added that consultations were ongoing during the next 48 hours. Hamas reiterated on Sunday their demands, including a permanent ceasefire, the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza, a return of the displaced, and an exchange of Palestinian prisoners for Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. Now, UN's atomic watchdog agency IAEA has condemned a Ukrainian drone strike on one of 6 nuclear reactors at the Russian-controlled Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine. In a statement on the social media platform X, Rafael Grossi confirmed at least 3 direct hits against the ZNPP main reactor containment structures took place. He added such attacks significantly increased the risk of major nuclear accident. Grossi said it was the first such attack since November 2022, when he set out 5 basic principles to avoid a serious nuclear accident with radiological consequences. And in a separate statement, the IAEA confirmed physical impact of drone attacks of the plant, including at one of its 6 reactors. UN's atomic watchdog agency said the damage at Unit 6 has not compromised nuclear safety, but this is a serious incident with potential to undermine integrity of the reactor's containment system. The power plant has been caught in the crossfire since Moscow sent troops into Ukraine in 2022 and seized the facility shortly after. The IAEA has repeatedly expressed alarm about the nuclear power plant, Europe's largest, amid fears of a potential nuclear catastrophe. Both Ukraine and Russia have regularly accused the other of attacking the plant, which is still close to the front lines. Now, Russia's nuclear power corporation Rosatom accused Ukraine's military on Sunday of launching a series of attacks on the Russian-held Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station, and the UN's nuclear watchdog called for such incidents to cease immediately. A Rosatom statement said the first strike on the plant hit an area near a canteen, injuring the 3 staff members. Within a half hour, it said a drone had attacked a cargo loading area, and another drone subsequently struck the dome of the 6th reactor. Russia urged world leaders to denounce the incidents. Both Russian officials and the UN's International Atomic Energy Agency said radiation levels were normal and damage not severe. A Ukrainian intelligence official said Kiev had nothing to do with any strikes on the station. The US, Britain and Australia are set to begin talks on bringing new members into the AUKUS security pact as Washington pushes for Japan to be involved as a deterrent against China. The country's defense ministers will announce discussions on Monday on Pillar 2 of the pact, which commits the members to jointly developing quantum computing, undersea hypersonic, artificial intelligence and cyber technology. The Financial Times reported on Saturday, citing people familiar with the situation. AUKUS, formed by the 3 countries in 2021, is part of their efforts to push back against China's growing power in the Indo-Pacific region. China has called the AUKUS pact dangerous and warned it could spur a regional arms race. DD India's Laura Westbrook reports from Hong Kong.
This is a trilateral security pact for the Indo-Pacific region, as you mentioned, to help counter the growing influence of China in that region. It involves the US, Britain and Australia. And those 3 countries' defense ministers, they are expected to start talks on inviting in new members to look at collaboration on this 2nd pillar. So this involves the 2nd pillar of the pact, and that is all around collaboration around technology, such as collaborating around hypersonic weapons. They won't be discussing bringing in new members to the 1st pillar, and that is all about helping Australia acquire nuclear submarines. Now, the US President Joe Biden, he will be hosting the Japanese Prime Minister Kishida at the White House on Wednesday, and that's where we are likely expecting that talks could take place.
Now, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will be on a 2-day visit to China on Monday and Tuesday. Lavrov will discuss the Russia-Ukraine conflict and deepening partnership between Moscow and Beijing with Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. The China Coast Guard on Sunday claimed that Philippine vessels trespassed into waters adjacent to the Huteng Reef in the South China Sea. The Chinese Coast Guard released a video that showed several Filipino fishing vessels fishing at waters surrounding the Huteng Reef, where Filipino official vessels were also present. A China Coast Guard spokesman said in a statement that Philippines organized multiple vessels to conduct illegal activities in the waters adjacent to the Huteng Reef of China's Nansha Islands. Earlier on Saturday, the Philippines said 2 Chinese Coast Guard vessels harassed Filipino fishing vessels within Manila's exclusive economic zone in the South China Sea. The Philippines and China had several maritime run-ins last month that included the use of water cannon and heated verbal exchanges, which have triggered concern about an escalation at sea. Japan, United States, Australia and the Philippines held a one-day joint maritime exercise in the South China Sea on Sunday. Philippines Armed Forces said the drills were held within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone in the South China Sea. Exercise involved aircraft and naval vessels. The maritime activity took place days before a summit between the leaders of the three countries. Mexico's diplomatic personnel are leaving Ecuador after the two countries' sever ties. This comes after a growing rift between Mexico and Ecuador, which had been going on for days and culminated on Friday after Mexico granted political asylum to Ecuadorian Vice President George Glass. The raid has prompted criticism across Latin America, the United States, Honduras, Spain, the European Union. United Nations General Secretary Antonio Guterres also condemned Ecuador's decision, saying that it violates the sanctity of diplomatic and consular property. Spain and the European Union joined the United Nations chief and Latin American countries in criticizing Quito for the raid. Now, Mexico said it will file a complaint against Ecuador at the International Court of Justice following the raid on its embassy in Quito. Mexican diplomatic personnel left Ecuador on Sunday as the two countries severed ties. Mexico Foreign Minister Alicia Bárcena welcomed the return of his embassy personnel and lashed out at Ecuador's raid on the embassy and praised the diplomatic staff for defending the embassy. Alicia Bárcena said at the event to welcome the diplomats home that we are going to the ICJ, where we are presenting this sad case, and we can believe that we can win this case quickly. And the European Court of Human Rights will on Tuesday issue unprecedented verdicts in 3 separate climate cases, where applicants have argued the government to take action on climate change violates human rights. The first case was heard in March 2023, where applicants argued about the spiking climate change crisis threatening rights to life, privacy, mental health and other matters. The verdicts to set a precedent for future litigation on how rising temperatures impact people's right to a livable planet. An engine cover, also called a cowling, on a Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 fell off on Sunday during takeoff in Denver and struck the wing flap. No one was injured and Southwest Flight 3695 returned safely to Denver International Airport, but the incident has prompted the U.S. Federal Aviation Agency to open an investigation. The Boeing aircraft, bound for Houston Hobby Airport with 141 people aboard, rose to an elevation of about 10,300 feet before returning. Now let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. South Korea's defense ministry said on Monday that country's second domestically made spy satellite was successfully put into orbit. The satellite was launched from an American space center on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. Greece raised its wildfire alert level to high risk after dozens of blazes broke out on Sunday. The fire spread across the mountainous forest east of the seaside town of Lera Petra, forcing authorities to order the precautionary evacuation of villages in the area. Flamingo Reserve fears the site may soon end if Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, proceeds with plans to build a tourist resort in the area near the town of Flora. The projects may boost local economies by enticing visitors, but locals oppose that it will harm the environment and Belgrade's cultural significance. We'll slip into a very short break. Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Election campaign picks momentum for parliamentary polls in India. Top leaders of various political parties to hold multiple rallies and road shows to garner support for their candidates. Indian-American Akshay Bhatia takes final spot in next week's Masters field after winning Valero Texas Open, holds off Denny McCarthy. And a total solar eclipse is set to occur on Monday. Mexico, US and Canada to witness solar eclipse will not be visible from the Indian subcontinent.
The land of Dravidians, Tamil Nadu goes to polls in one go. How will the National Party's alliance face the political heat with the regional satraps? What are the issues that could find resonance among the voters as India decides? Will the vote share increase help the national parties get a foothold in the minds of the people? Watch Why Tamil Nadu Matters on the Great Indian Election at 8:30 p.m. IST and 1500 hours GMT only on TT India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. Now let's get you the latest on the world's largest democratic elections in India. The upcoming general elections have ignited a wave of political activity across India, with parties scrambling to secure victory. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, after a day of campaigning in eastern states of Bihar and West Bengal, will now hold public meetings in Maharashtra's Chandrapur and Chhattisgarh's Basta. India's Home Minister Amit Shah will be kicking off his poll campaign in Assam. He will hold a meeting in the Biswanath district. Assam comprises of 14 constituencies and will be voting in 3 phases 1, 2 and 3 of the elections. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will begin his campaign in Tamil Nadu and will be there for 2 days. Tamil Nadu will vote in first phase of elections, that is on 19th April, and will be contested on 39 seats. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi is scheduled to hold 2 rallies in Madhya Pradesh. Gandhi will campaign in Mandla and Shahdol districts and will be first visit to Madhya Pradesh after the announcement of election dates. Madhya Pradesh will vote in 4 phases 1, 2, 3 and 4 on April 19, 26, May 7 and 13 respectively. The central state of India accounts for 29 seats in general elections. And Congress leader Sachin Pilot is also scheduled to address election public meetings in states of Rajasthan. He will be visiting Sikar, Jhunjhunu, Jaipur Rural and Alwar. An Aam Aadmi Party national leader and Delhi government minister Atishi will be making her mark in Assam campaign starting from Monday. And today will also be the last day for the candidates eligible for the second phase of the election to withdraw their nomination papers. The second phase of elections will be on April 26 and will see 89 Indian Parliament constituencies go to the polls. And Maharashtra, the western state of India, sends 48 MPs to Parliament and is the second highest after UP. The realignment of regional satrapas and political bloc for the 2024 elections makes one wonder if it would be better to call it Maha Chaos for the voters. The financial and entertainment capital of India will go to polls in 5 phases from April 19th to May 20th. The fortunes of the national parties and regional parties merged makes Maharashtra a cracker of an election. DD India dissects why Maharashtra matters in the great Indian elections in 2024.
Located along the western coastline of India, the state of Maharashtra is a maritime, commercial and a vibrant cultural hub that includes the UNESCO World Heritage Sites like the ancient Ajanta and Ellora caves. Spread over an area of over 300,000 square kilometers, the state, which is blessed with a 720-kilometer coastline, caters to most of India's maritime trade activities. It is also a major automobile hub and has a rich industrial output ranging from heavy machinery, consumer durables as well as FMCG products. Its state capital, Mumbai, which is well known for its rich architecture, including the iconic Gateway of India, is also well known for the glitz and glamour of the Indian cine world, the Bollywood. Maharashtra, a state important in multiple aspects, houses 48 Lok Sabha, the lower house seats in the Indian Parliament, the second highest in the country after Uttar Pradesh, that has 80. In the 2024 general elections, the state is going to polls in 5 phases starting from April 19th to May 20th. That is April 19th, April 26th, May 7th, May 13th and May 20th. The state has 92 million registered voters, out of which over 47 million are men, 44 million are women, while more than 5,500 belong to the third gender. Now coming to Maharashtra's current political scenario, it is governed by the Shiv Sena Shinde party in collaboration with the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Nationalist Congress Party. Other prominent parties include the Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction and the Indian National Congress, which has been playing a significant role in the politics of this state, besides the Bahujan Samaj Party and the left parties which participate in the polling process. During the 2019 general elections in the state, of the total 48 seats, the BJP won 23, the undivided Shiv Sena bagged 18, the NCP won 4, while the INC, AIMIM and Independents won 1 seat each. Amidst a supercharged political scenario in the state, which has been witnessing the rise of new political factions and collaborative realignments, all eyes are on Maharashtra this polling season, as it prepares to undergo the test of India's populist mandate in the general elections. Election Desk, DD India.
And situated in Assam state of India, Kaziranga is a UNESCO World Heritage Sites of India known for great Indian one-horn rhinoceros and also the Royal Bengal tiger, along with many endangered species. Elephants, wild water buffalo and swamp deer are also found in the park. DD India's Tapos Bhattacharya gives us this report.
So currently we are in the Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. This is one of India's prominent national park. Approximately 130 tigers are there in this particular park, Tiger Reserve, and also more than 3,600 rhinos are also here. Just to put it across, the conservation efforts are working overtime because they do anti-poaching camp at the same time. Sir, tell us more about the anti-poaching camp. How important it is and how difficult it is at the same time for you guys, frontline workers here. It's not an easy work.
Yeah, it's not easy work. Like we have more than 190 anti-poaching camps inside our park, in the entire Kaziranga National Park. So in every park we have not the numbers is also 2 to 3, 4, 5 staffs we have. We used to do patrolling duties and all to protect the rhinos. That's it.
It is a hard work and dedication of these frontline workers that India currently boasts of such a mix of flora and fauna. As I mentioned, India is home to 2/3 of world's tiger population. It is home to this Kaziranga is home to the single-horned rhinoceros, and it only happens because of this dedication shown by these frontline workers. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible. With camera person Rahul Chopra, this is Tapos Bhattacharya for DD India from Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve in Assam.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is on a visit to China. On a last leg of her visit, that is on Monday, Yellen met with the People's Bank of China's Governor Pan Gongsheng during a visit to China's central bank. This is her second trip to China in just 9 months, which Yellen is using to press her case for Chinese leaders to rein in excess industrial capacity and boost domestic demand. And later addressing a press conference, U.S. Treasury Secretary warned that the United States would not accept new industries being decimated by subsidized Chinese imports in the same way that the U.S. steel sector was crushed a decade ago. After wrapping up 4 days of talks with Chinese officials, Yellen told a news conference the exchanges had advanced American interest. She said she had raised concerns about China's weak domestic demand and over-investment in industries such as electric vehicles, batteries and solar products fueled by large-scale government support. Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes opened an inquiry into Elon Musk for obstruction of justice involving social media company X. According to a court document, Musk is challenging a decision by Moraes ordering his social media platform X to block certain accounts. Musk earlier on Sunday posted that X will lift the restrictions because they were unconstitutional. If X fails to comply with the order to block certain accounts, the company will be fined $19,074 per day. Sports now will start with golf. Young Indian American Akshay Bhatia won Texas Open on Sunday, defeating Denny McCarthy in a sudden death playoff at the end of a dramatic final round of the PGA Tour's Texas Open in San Antonio. Bhatia, who is now the last qualifier to the Masters, went into the final round with a 4-shot lead, but a remarkable back nine from McCarthy forced a playoff. In IPL, defending champions and 5-time winners Chennai Super Kings are set to host the Kolkata Knight Riders at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. The 2-time IPL champions are second on the table with 3 wins out of 3, while Chennai Super Kings are desperate to get back to winning ways, but they face KKR challenge as they have been a force to reckon with in the ongoing season. As total solar eclipse is set to occur on Monday, locals and tourists in Mexico are getting prepped up to witness the celestial phenomena. The eclipse is set to commence over the South Pacific Ocean, with the first point of contact on continental North America being Mexico's Pacific coast at approximately 11:07 a.m. Banners advertising the astronomical event were seen across the city, drawing astronomers and scientists alongside enthusiastic locals. While eclipse enthusiasts who travelled to Texas on Sunday to witness the solar eclipse expressed concerns that bad weather could ruin the astronomical spectacle. Now, the Election Commission of India posted a video on social media platform X as part of its election-related activities in Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. In the video, Election Commission urged the people of the Union Territory to step out, vote and inspire others to do the same. ECI appealed people to be the election ambassador. Let's celebrate Chunav Ka Parv together. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.